We are back. Yes, we are laying down the law 2015. We welcome you to the first show of the year, and we are catching, yes, Pigskin and Pearls, a.k.a. the Blue Mare, Heather Lloyd, walking into Lucas Oil Stadium along with our co-host. He's on the IR today, representing the Cincinnati Bengals, our man, the All-Pro NFL quarterback, Jeff Blake. Lady and gentlemen, welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
What's going on?
Happy New Year.
Well, I'm putting the two of y'all together. Blake, get well, man. I certainly had a blast. Man. I had a blast with you, son, these last couple of days. It might have caught up to you and whatnot. We'll talk about that later. Nonetheless, Heather Lloyd, the Colts against the Bengals. Let's start with you. Happy New Year. You're going against Blake's former team. At home advantage Colts, or is this a game that, as Colts fans, you guys need to be concerned about a little bit more than that?
You know, I think on the surface, people are looking at this game as advantage Colts, but here's the problem. First of all, let's go back to the real problem here is that we have to see which Colts team shows up today. So issue number one is, are we going to get the team that played against the Bengals in the regular season and that game, ended at a 27-0 Colts advantage? Or are we going to get the team that we've seen a lot since then, which was real inconsistent play, a lot of lost balls, leaky offensive line? The Colts have to do a lot of stuff to win this game today. And the reality is, too, anytime you are going up against a team in the playoffs, they're a good team. The Bengals being 0-3 under Andy Dalton and 0-5 under Marv Lewis, that is a team you really have to worry about because as much as I know the Colts want this game and they're going to be out there in playoff mode, the Bengals are fighting for a lot of stuff in this game. And that, honestly, that's a dangerous team to play against. So as much as other people might look at this and kind of say, oh, advantage Colts, I actually have not heard one Colts fan this week say, oh, I'm not worried about this game. It's a playoff game, and it's a playoff game against a team that's got a lot invested in this game. And you know what? They're going to have to play really good football, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Jeff Blake, give us some perspective about your Cincinnati Bengals. I know that's where you made a huge mark in the NFL. Andy Dalton, that quarterback position that you played, is in a position, as Heather had mentioned, to turn the ball and have a running game, something that you always said you did not and wish that you had.
Yeah, Andy has a great opportunity to do something special in Cincinnati that hasn't been done in a long time, and having a running back like Hill who's very explosive and that can take the ball 60 yards and take a lot of pressure off Andy Dalton, which he's going to need because he's not going to have A.J. Green due to concussion. And he won't be able to have his star receiver in the game to make those plays for him. But one thing is going on about Cincinnati right now is the fact that their defense is playing balls out. And that's another thing that I didn't have the luxury of having when I was in Cincinnati was a defense
right.
that causes turnovers and holds teams down to under a certain amount of points to be able to keep yourself in the game and be able to get you the ball back at the end of the game to give you the opportunity to win the games. And also their special teams are playing pretty good. So, but it's tough to go in Indianapolis and play, period. I don't care if it's the bad Colts team or the good Colts team. It's tough to go in that environment and play, especially during the playoff time. I would love to see Cincinnati win, but I really think the Colts would probably have the advantage due to the fact once you get in the playoffs, there's no more records. The records are out the door. It's who's going to show up and play, and it all boils down to turnovers. You look at the Pittsburgh game last night, and they just had too many turnovers, and they weren't able to overcome, and they didn't score when they got in the red zone. So if you don't score, you're kicking field goals all night, and you're not punching in the red zone, and you're turning the ball over and not getting good field position, that's going to be the key to the game. That's the key to any playoff game, regardless of who has the best record or not, because records don't matter in the playoff games.
Talking with Heather Lloyd, the Blue Mare, getting ready to go in and watch the Bengals and the Colts play, and also our co-host, the former All-Pro NFL quarterback, Jeff Blake. Heather, how's the atmosphere around the stadium today?
When I'm done doing this interview, I'm going to tweet you a picture of where I did it because I had to find a quiet corner stadium, and I'm literally like back. There's like this little nook in the back of the club that I found that's pretty quiet. But I have to say, I know Colts fans. I mean, the team's been pushing all week. We need you. We need you to be there and be loud, and they will. You know, it's kind of what Colts fans do. But I will say this: Bengals Nation showed up. We just left our little skating spot, which is a establishment right up the street from Lucas Oil Stadium, and I'm telling you, there are Bengals fans all over here with a little over an hour and a half away. It's not a destination that is hard to get to, and the Colts had tickets available up until even a couple of days ago. So our concern is that we can get in there and get loud, and there's not going to be a lot of noise from Bengals fans, because looking around, there's definitely some Bengals fans represented here.
All right. Well, fair enough. Well, I tell you, can I get a little bet between you and my co-host, you and Blake? Can we, do a little something? Maybe you got to wear a Bengals something, or we got to get them a Colts something to have on in studio, and we'll take a photo.
I have plenty of Bengals stuff she can wear.
If the Colts lose this game and you send me a Bengals jersey, I will absolutely wear it for 24 hours. So how's that?
You got to post it, though. Great. You got to post it.
I'll post it. I promise.
You got to let them know that.
I will.
That you and Jeff made the bet. And so what happens if, in fact, the blue prevails?
Then it's going to have to be the same thing. He's going to have to wear a Colts jersey, and I'll be happy to send him one.
Okay. And we'll certainly have proof of that. I tell you, either way, I think this is going to be an excellent first game for Wild Card Weekend. Heather, I know you're there and got a lot of things going on. We appreciate you and your time. Wanted to let our listeners know that there is another wild card NFL playoff game going on besides Dallas and Detroit. Heather, how can people find you throughout the week or today during the game, you with pictures, tweets, different things like that?
Be all over Twitter at Blue Mare, and I'm also going to be later, as soon as we get home, I got to watch the Lions and the Cowboys, so that's going to be a great game too. And that I will also be tweeting that at Pigskin and Pearl. So yeah, it's a great football weekend. It's really all I'm doing between college and NFL. I just wish it could stay like this forever, right?
Exactly. And who's your pick for next Monday in Jerry World, Ohio State versus Oregon?
You know what? I would love to see the Big Ten rise again in college football. I would love to put my money on Ohio State, but you know what? Oregon just looks really tough to beat right now, so I got to say Oregon.
Well, that's what I picked when we made our predictions. In fact, Rod Chico Tanner got both teams right. I'm still a little bit in it because I picked Oregon, but I think Rod picked Oregon.
I picked Ohio State.
Oh, you picked Ohio State
to be there, and Oregon to be there. So I picked the final, but I'm picking Oregon.
Okay, you finally picking Oregon. Well, I did it in 2014, but we can talk about that offline. Jeff,
I am picking the Cowboys, though. I have to say that those Cowboys are looking good, really good. And again, of course, this is coming from a fan of a team they got beat by for almost shut out at 47 points.
Yeah.
Those Cowboys are going to be really tough on the NFC side, and I'm telling you, this could be Romo's year.
I hope so. They're
going to be fun to watch.
Yes, and kudos to the whole staff and my former schoolmates and teammates as well. Jeff Blake, what are your thoughts about these games and the national championship for the listeners?
Well, national championship, I think I'm going to go with Oregon as well. I'm not a Big Ten fan anyway, so Oregon is looking very well. Mariota hasn't been stopped all year. He doesn't throw interceptions. He doesn't make mistakes, and I don't think he's going to do it in a national championship game as well. So they're fast. They're explosive. They put up points fast, and it's just hard to stop. And if it comes down to a scoring match, I think Oregon will win.
All right. And today, you got any thoughts about today's games?
The Cowboys Detroit game, I want to see the Cowboys win. Detroit will be tough. I think that D-line of Detroit will be coming at the Cowboys and at Romo. And at some time of the day, I expect Ndamukong Suh to kick Romo somewhere on his body. I don't know where.
You're going to walk up and just slap him on the head.
What's the over-under in that in Vegas? I mean, can I get 10 on that one, Blake?
I know.
I expect Romo to get kicked somewhere sometime today by Ndamukong Suh.
What I wanted to see is if Ndamukong Suh would try to kick you, because I know you a little better than most. And I know with Jeff Blake a little gangster in that piece. You know, he's pretty smart. He got his sunglasses on, but Jeff Blake don't allow nobody to put hands on him. So
man, it'd have been like the longest yard all over again. Just let him through. Don't even block him.
Yeah, don't even block him. Let him through. They say, hey, 3 plays in a row. Let him through.
Yeah, 3 plays in a row. And then after the play, everybody just jump on it.
Well, y'all listen. Certainly appreciate the time. Heather, travel and be safe. We'll be monitoring Twitter. Jeff Blake _8 for y'all.